Start streaming in a bit. We should get going. Uh, Sorry about that, folks. Just I had to make sure to not have ads on this movie podcast as we talk about Gundam Hathaway, the Sorcery of Nymph Circe, and I guess Gundam Hathaway's Flash as well, because we never watched that first movie. And that first movie on Netflix is so inconsequential that this theatrical release like basically summarizes it in 3 minutes. It's like, yeah, that's enough. That's
Yeah. It's not like I didn't need to watch it after watching that. Like, all right, wasted my own time. All the clip notes are right there. All the important information is right there on the screen when you go to see it in the theater. So don't.
Yeah, it's
Okay,
like
you'll get my review.
yeah, it's like, okay, so there's a plane that's or a space shuttle that's hijacked by terrorists, and you have your Hathaway Noah and cop friend Kenneth. I just know him as Kenneth. I always forget his last name. Um, like save a bunch of like aristocrats, except for two of them. Two of them very specifically die. And then they end up under investigation because there might be a terrorist infiltrator. Turns out it's Hathaway Noah. And Hathaway like has a terrorist attack, like orders a terrorist attack on his own hotel to like take the heat off him. And in the midst of like saving love interest character Gigi Andalucia, which is like the stupidest name, and they always feel the name need to say it the entire name every time.
They're really like European names. I feel like you're really obsessed with Europeans on, if not just in Japan, but Gundam specifically.
But they feel the need to ensure that we see the horrors of war from the ground level, which is the best scene of Hathaway's Flash, of just like just the chaos as the like mobile suits attack this little place in the Philippines. And then
Which again was a bright spot too. What was that Gundam one we watched on Netflix?
oh
The CD anime.
yeah, it was the one that's from the Zeon's point of view. But I forget.
Yeah, that one was the entire show, and that was an amazing show to me. This should have had more of that
Yeah,
instead
it's
of
like
just a one scene.
like Requiem for Vengeance or something like that. It has a very generic name.
Yeah. It's a very generic name, as I could remember.
Although
I remember that specific.
although I do consider even Hathaway's Flash to be better than that movie.
Oh well, yeah. And I think that's what's disappointing about Halfway in general, is that you'll have moments of brilliance like that, and then right back to the boredom. Like, why? Are you even watching your own movie? Why would you have something good and then just take it away? And it happens like at least twice in both movies, and it's infuriating because we go back to these characters I don't care about. They have all this time to develop them, and they still can't make me care about them. And
yeah,
that's impressive.
Weirdly enough, like the character that has the most personality, it feels like in Hathaway both movies, is like his short-haired redheaded ex-girlfriend.
Yeah.
Like she just
the one that has barely anything to do with anything.
Yeah, she just like accosts him in a hallway and just says like, "Hey, you're kind of being a dick." And then he's a dick to her, and then we don't see her for the rest of the movie.
Her and that broad that refused to wear a bra. Like, if you're not a main character, you get the freedom to be interesting. But the moment you're the lead for some reason, it's the fewer character attributes you get to have. Like, Halfway himself is just, we pointed out earlier, he's just Tenchi Muyo. He's just stoic Tenchi Muyo. He's not showing any emotions. He's like, oh my God, a girl? Well, that's silly. I wouldn't dare look at a girl. And he's a grown man acting like this, mind you.
Well,
that bugged the hell
so
out of me.
he's not quite. I will give their characterization of him a little bit of credit. He is not like a harem protagonist, because harem protagonists will generally be like, oh, I'm kind of asexual. Like I do not understand what sex is, because in a harem anime, like the moment that your main character knows what sex is, it becomes porn.
That's true. It's just kind of a different. It's more like a workaholic version of that. Like I'm only here for the mission and nothing
Yeah,
else.
I'm only
Speak to
here
me.
for
Look at me.
terrorism.
Yes.
Like, I must do terrorism. But
I never know who to cheer for in Gundam, and Gundam doesn't help.
but
Who's the
yeah,
good guys?
so original Gundam Hathaway, while we're still on it, just because, like, it might be the worst Gundam fight I've ever seen in that. Like, it's completely inconsequential. It just has your characters escape, and that's like, oh, we're going to have an actual fight, right? And then the credits roll. It's like, okay.
They know what to do to keep your attention in that. So they're like, "Oh, that's right. They're here for Gundams." Ooh,
It's like,
in your face.
yeah, I just threw
And
the
boom, it's gone.
I threw the plasma gun away, and he followed it, and I guess we escaped. Oh, is any other plot
Right.
happening? No. We're done here.
It's like having a roller coaster click up to the start and then gently bring you back down. The ride's over. I just like that first clicky part. Thank you.
Yeah,
I don't like the rest.
you slowly make that climb after sitting on the roller coaster and waiting in line, and that takes you to the top, and you get off, and you're just on like another like landing platform.
You have to walk all the way back down. It just takes you higher. I need to walk back. Yeah. That's what watching Halfway felt like. All the excitement's there. And, oh, this went nowhere.
Yeah, in
So
the end,
worse off.
in the end, it's just work. But yeah, just a quick. We'll give it a score while we're at it, because like we're going to treat Hathaway as inconsequential as the sequel to Hathaway does. So we'll just talk about it for like 5 minutes and then give it a score. But yeah, so on the Super Eye Patch Wolf scale, we'll say this twice. So 1 being completely insulting to your intelligence, 2 is like bad but with maybe some good qualities, 3 is a general I liked it, I didn't feel robbed statement, 4 is good but there's something that's bad about it that just kind of sticks with you, 5 is good for the genre, 6 is exemplary for the genre, and 7 is so good it has redefined what good is. And Gundam Hathaway on Netflix, the first one, so Hathaway's Flash is the actual name of it, I think it is the poster child of a 2.
Yeah, this is not getting a 3 out of me. This is not budging past a 2 point anything. It's on 2.0. You are not a 2.1.
It is the most 2. It is the most 2 of any anime that we've ever seen.
This is the most anime that ever felt like homework for me to watch. I'm only watching it for this show, and that's it. I have to keep reminding myself that. Otherwise, it should have been off so fast. Like, you don't get to say anything about any bad anime we watched before now. You don't get to say anything about Bastard or any silliness like that. There's so much worse. And this is proof that there's worse things than being bad, and that's being boring. Because while the plot itself might be competent, who cares? I legit don't care about these people, and they didn't make any effort to make me care about them. They're hoping, like, at least, like, the intrigue would do it, I guess. Like, maybe, like how Guy Ritchie movies just watch you to watch a plan that comes together.
Mm-hmm.
But at least Guy Ritchie movies have interesting, memorable characters I remember long after. This doesn't have that. Not even that they all have the same personality. They all have distinct, boring personalities, which I haven't seen before, I'll admit. You have stoic, boring guy. You have flirty, boring guy. And you have rich society, boring girl. And those are your leads. Everybody else, they're inconsequential.
Yeah, so talking about Gundam Hathaway, the Sorcery of Witch Circe, or the Sorcery of Nymph Circe, not Witch Circe. I always want to say witch because of Gundam, the Witch from Mercury, which is a separate thing in its own timeline. But immediately off the bat, positives I need to give it. That compared to the first movie, and granted this movie was made in 2021, so it's like not new. It just like took a while to get over here and for them to do a lot of work on it. Oh wait, no, 2021 was Hathaway's Flash, so this is new. Sorry, I was looking at the wrong thing. Because Google's terrible. But in those 5 years, they made this look absolutely gorgeous. Like, even considering Scarlet, even considering Suzume, even considering anime that we have watched that are theatrical films, this is the most movie that an anime has looked that I have seen.
Yeah, these are two of the most beautiful animes I've watched, and that's why it's a shame. Like when it comes to this visuals, this is up there easily in the top 5 for me. And I know I said the same thing about the last Gundam project, but those Gundam guys seem to know at least visually what they're doing. The Gundam shows always look amazing and always want to make me go out there and buy model kits immediately. The issue always comes when you have to get back to the people and carry this friggin' project. Yeah, you can't make it interesting for the life of you. Power Rangers made their characters interesting, but this, no, it's gorgeous to look at. And if you watch it mute, it makes for a great screensaver.
Mm-hmm.
And the fights are incredible. So I wasn't big on CG anime before. It has absolutely grown on me, especially if this looks freaking beautiful. I feel like they perfected it.
Yeah, and I wouldn't even say that it's the animation that makes it so good looking. Like the director ended up like really thinking about, it seems like, what the camera looks like. Hathaway's Flash, that original 2021 movie, looks like a TV movie. Like the way it's shot, like it's very like static camera, like you're just hard cutting to different things. In like Hathaway, the Sorcery of Nymph Circe, they almost like drew it in such a way with such a budget that it's like, oh, we're actually going to have a cameraman. We're going to almost film this kind of documentary, like almost like it reminds me of like the Jason Bourne movies where they wanted to do that like documentary style camera where it's like very kinetic.
Everything's handheld cam. It was a good look.
Yeah, and it's really neat because like, oh, we need to like think about how this thing looks in 3 dimensions, so the camera's constantly swooping around people like it's a Michael Bay movie and things like that. But the double-edged sword is the lighting. So, do you have opinions on the natural lighting of this?
No, I thought it looked gorgeous. I didn't see any issue at all visually of anything, including the natural light. Like, what bugged you about it?
What bugs me about the natural light is, one, everything seems very muted. In parts where it's supposed to be dark, like the color is completely washed out. Like the scene where Hathaway talks to his ex after she shaves her head. Like, since that's in like a shadowy part of this freighter ship, like everything is like really, really shadowy, and it works there a little bit. But there are other times where they infiltrate that one prison in Australia, or when they're planning that final assault before the end, where they're just in the Australian wilderness and it's nighttime. It's just dark. You're just watching like something where like when you play a video game and you don't correct the gamma and you have like a weird TV.
Oh, I see what you mean.
It's like, oh, it's dark as shit and I can't see anything. I'm just hearing characters talk about their plan for 5 minutes while I can barely make out their silhouette.
Do you mean like the scenes like in the sky when you have like when it was like a night fight at the Gundam? When it was approaching them, or something else?
No, I'm talking about when they're just talking. Because when they go into the prison, they intentionally keep everything dark because they're using like flashlights and everything. But there's literally a scene where they talk for like 5 minutes and the characters are just in shadow. Like you can't see anything. And then before the final assault, like when they're just outside planning, they do it again. They just, it's a bunch of characters standing in the dark just talking to each other. And it's like not.
I guess I zoned out and stopped caring. I was ready for more. The entire movie is already just characters talking to each other for me, so I didn't even notice when that happened.
I was just like, it's a dark theater. It's time to take a nap.
Yep. Except there's one of the rare times I didn't take a nap. I didn't fall asleep watching this movie. I couldn't be bored enough. I was just wide awake, just frustrated, waiting for this to be over. And it was only an hour and 30 minutes. Like, I'm thinking all of this, and I don't want it. I don't want it in my brain. I don't want to keep it. This is dull. This is useless information. Well, they did not earn Sweet Child of Mine.
Well, new movie's 2 hours. Like, you got an extra 30 minutes of Gundam.
That's why it felt longer. Okay.
Yeah. Hathaway's Flash on Netflix is 90 minutes, but like Hathaway, the Sorcery of Nymph Circe is a full 2 hours. Of
Okay,
of
because I was
which
questioning
they
why this feels like it's taking way longer than the first one.
Yeah, and I don't understand why they need to pad for time because um to just like map out the plot here. So the plot takes place supposedly like a few years after Hathaway's Flash. And it seems like
Okay,
nothing has happened. Like it
yeah,
it seems like it might as well just be like directly after Hathaway's Flash. Um
yeah.
but it's like
I
okay,
just assumed it was a direct sequel until context clues. But it
yeah.
might as well have been a direct sequel.
Mhm. And the the whole conceit is like, oh, well, Hathaway still wants to assassinate the Earth Federation forces cabinet members. And they're playing like this cat and mouse game with the Earth Federation forces and Kenneth, who has become very good at hunting them down and at least ensuring they don't attack. Like he's not necessarily like finding them, but he's also like so like good at defense that they can't necessarily find an opening to attack either. Um,
I think I found my issue with this movie and therefore all of Gundam. Where's the bad guy at? Where's your Darth Vader? Who's your villain? Who's your Skeletor? Who's your face of the bad guys? I don't remember who the
it's
bad guy is in
Kenneth.
this movie.
Kenneth
Is
is your
it?
bad guy. He's right there above
They
me.
He's so dull. I didn't even know. I didn't buy him as anything. He's just kind of there. Like that's not Skeletor level. That is not Cobra Commander level. That is not a memorable villain. And they never have memorable villains. Why is that a Gundam issue?
Yeah,
Like across the board over decades.
yeah, and even to use other Gundam things, he's not Char. He's not even Gineas from the 08th MS team, because at least Gineas was like a mad scientist who's like, oh, I've made this giant fat Gundam with a beam cannon.
Yeah. What am I watching? Give me someone to hate, and maybe I can get along if you're a bland hero. Give me a Darth Vader to cheer for dying and losing, and I'll cheer for your bland ass Luke Skywalker. But you can't just give me a Luke Skywalker and a Darth Vader. I'm not watching a Luke Skywalker movie. That's a boring character.
But I think you found what potentially the issue is. They want to make this story great. Like they want to tell their story of like, hey, being under an repressive regime is bad. Like
Yeah.
they depict the Earth Federation forces as like, oh, this is basically a police state. Like, yes, they beat the Zeon, and now in the years since, they have become the bad guys. They have become effectively a fascist state. Like, congratulations, you beat the space Nazis, and now you are the space Nazis. Good job.
Yeah.
And it wants to have its cake and eat it too, because Hathaway is like, okay, we have a terrorist character. We have a character who is standing for the ideals that he learned as a kid from like Amuro Ray and all of these other things. And he wants to like seek freedom and like trounce the Earth Federation forces to let humans evolve the way they are. Like, because, hey, the Earth sucks. All of our resources go to the Earth now, and humans can't progress because the rich take everything, blah, 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 blah. And he's fighting internally with, like, I am a terrorist. And the most that these movies get out of it is, I stand for my ideals and I want to do terrorism, but oh man, I just have so much pussy. Like, I just have so
Running
much
on
hot
screaming in
women,
the
and I
rain.
like like he literally says in the movie, like, oh, if only I could like get rid of these lustful thoughts. It's like
It is kind of a harem anime. It's just a little bit. If I can get rid of these women, I can just focus on my job and get it done correctly. Yeah, it's kind of asexual that way. Like the women are the problem. They're also taking a sizable plot point in the movie that's where I zoned out.
but I understand what the story is getting at. Like, the story is telling like a gray story that like fits in with, I mean, Shinzo Abe got killed with a homemade shotgun, and he was a fascist prick. But it's telling a story of like, hey, just because like you beat fascism in oppression once doesn't mean that you can just like be numb to it. I am in the state of Minnesota. We know this.
I got what they're going for with that, especially with Star Wars coming out so recently before Gundam. But it feels like they watched Star Wars, got an idea of what it was supposed to be, and didn't quite understand why Star Wars was successful. They saw fascism in space, and that's it. We're done here. We don't need anything else. Just put the fascism in space, and you have a hit. And they even have a bad guy who at least kind of resembled Vader by having to do with like the mask and the helmet and everything.
Yeah,
It was
Char.
straight up rip off. Char. But they again can't quite figure out why Darth Vader is popular. So they haven't been able to recreate anything like that since. So they got fascism right, they got space right. Now give me a reason to cheer for these people to lose. Like I would love to see an Andor version of Gundam. That seems to be what they're going for. If these Andor seems to be right up Gundam Street. I'd love to see those creators work on like a live action Gundam show. But you're not. Andor gave me like a slew of villains to hate. Like, of course, the Empire was the general villain of the show, duh. But every 3 episode arc gave me someone to cheer against or someone to cheer for. This, I wasn't even aware the bad guy was the bad guy until too late. I guess. Like,
Until
he didn't
just
really do
now,
anything that dastardly. Big evil. I didn't. There wasn't a moment where I go, "Oh, we have to get him back." I can't wait for that guy to pay. I don't care if he pays.
So is really the
There we
problem
go.
with it? It's too subtle. Like it doesn't show us the Earth Federation forces being repressive enough. Like we need to see more.
Yeah, funny enough, so many animes over-explain. Gundam is the opposite of that problem, and I gotta word this carefully because I almost feel like someone's watching and then they make it worse on purpose. But I don't mean in a Ghost in the Shell way where you just give exposition for 2 hours, which is kind of what this did. I don't mean you under-explain. I mean that you should at least explain, at least have the characters explain why we should like them, why we should hate them. That makes sense. We should know their personal motivations. I should know why the bad guy thinks he's the good guy. I should know why the good guy thinks he's helping. But not just that, I need to emotionally connect it why they're doing.
Yeah.
Like, is there like a revenge plot going on? Is there something that happened in his childhood? Even Demon Slayer, as much as I make fun of that, they're nice enough to like give the bosses backstories after you beat them. So I go, oh, that's why that guy's the way he is. This no before, no after, nothing. This who gives a shit about these people.
Yeah, and I think
Not giving you anything.
I think the most that like both movies did that fits in with that is it's like shortly after the shuttle lands in that first like terrorism scene, like where Hathaway saves everyone. And he's like taking a space Uber. He's like taking just the car to his hotel where like they're just going to give him infinite money for some reason. Like it's like here's a card. Like everything's on the Earth Federation forces. But the driver basically says like, "Oh yeah, I get stopped by the cops all the time. Like we're really oppressed over here, but you know it's just something that we deal with." It's like, "Oh, that I understand like what they're trying to get at there, but at the same time it's like that doesn't necessarily make it thematic as a movie where you are like smash the state." Like that.
Yeah, I got the gist, especially when they kept showing Gigi in her swimming pool, and she has like this lavish life where she doesn't have to really think about these issues. Like I get the haves versus the have-nots and what you're trying to do.
Mm-hmm.
Gundam guys are really good at world building. Their world building is top tier. Their character building is, like I saw the characters right there, and they couldn't lead them to the finish line. Like I get the concept, but your execution is crap.
They get character building sometimes. Like I give O8 MS team credit where like the greatest fight scene in all of Gundams with Norris Packard, like he is in that show for one episode, and in that there you understand his motivation, you understand where he came from, you understand what his goal is.
Yeah, like oh, bad guy. I don't like it. Simple. That's it. That's all I need. That's all. It's a children's cartoon at the end of the day. And it's I can't believe it's a children's cartoon because children's cartoons like Voltron had a bad guy to hate. Just give me something. Give me something a 6-year-old will hate. You can't even do that. I mean, when I show a picture of the guy, I should hear all the kids go, "Boo! We don't like him." But like, you show a picture of this dude, this Kenneth guy, it's probably gonna be crickets. The kids don't understand what's happening.
I don't know. I do like my Gundam to be complicated, because generally even like the most simplistic Gundam stories like eventually turn complicated when they try to get into like, oh, the horrors of war. Isn't this really fucked up? Like, um we're more than likely I'm going to push for us to do Neon Genesis Evangelion after we do the anime awards, and we're going to be there a while because we have a lot to watch in it. We basically need to watch the entire thing, uh and it's going to be over multiple months that we do that. But
I love that.
like one of the big things with Neon Genesis Evangelion for our generation was like, oh, this is a mecha show that understood. It's like, oh, if you're a teenager who's forced into like a giant robot to save the world, you'd be fucked up because like you're constantly in this like life and death situation, and it's like, I'm like 13, like I just understood. I just now understand that girls aren't icky. Like, what the fuck is going on? and, and
That's a unique premise.
original Gundam is basically that. Like, Amuro Ray is a character who stumbles into a secret military thing and
Yeah,
has the ability to pilot because of space, like, mind bullshit, is how they end up explaining it in the end. But, there are entire episodes that are devoted to, like, Amuro Ray has been like fighting behind the Xeon lines, just trying to find a way home with this like Earth Federation force people, and he's like, I don't want to fight anymore. I'm tired. And these like military guys, Hathaway's dad, slaps him in the face and goes like, no, you need to do this. Fuck you, because you're the one who can. And I like when it does that because it allows their characters to be like fully fleshed out. And
mm.
I don't know if it would just if this would work better as a series. It's based on a novel, like this whole like what's going to be, I think, a trilogy of movies is a single novel that happens in the
Yeah.
Gundam universe, and that probably might be a little bit better way to do it because then you can get into characters' heads a lot more. But I don't think the way that you solve Gundam is by making it simpler beyond like, oh, maybe you can just have like things that are cool designs like G Gundam, Gundam Wing, all of these like side stories that don't take place in the Universal Century. They're all those simplistic stories. But I mean, my Universal Century Gundam, I personally like the slow politics stuff.
Oh no, that bores the crap out of me. Like I'm I'm not a kid anymore watching this, and it still bores the crap out of me. And so much so that I feel like Christopher Nolan would love the Gundam series. That it's all just exposition and over explaining and just like this. Except Christopher Nolan is that he's good at giving me an emotional hook. So I feel like Christopher Nolan would be good for the Gundam series. While it's my same issue of Ghost in the Shell, in that you have great concepts, but your characters don't give me a reason to tune in again. And you mentioned it to be better as a series, and I immediately thought of Lazarus. And then it might help. Or you'll get 13 episodes and it'll do nothing still. Like, despite giving characters their own personal episodes, they'll still be boring. So yes, Lazarus presents that's still a possibility. And if 13 episodes, it'll be just as boring.
We eventually need to watch the best like Universal Century Gundam, which is the uh Stardust something. It's like 0083, but it's where most of most of the animation team behind Cowboy Bebop came from that.
Yeah.
And it's widely considered to be like the best Gundam series that exists, but I need to find it is the problem. Um but the I really wish that Joey had seen this movie because Joey loves the Chris Nolan Dune movies. I hate them. I think they're boring.
I feel the way Joey feels because Dune is the opposite of halfway that way. In that it does right what halfway does wrong. In that, yes, it over explains. Yes, it's a lot of exposition. Yes, it's a lot of world building. But again, you give me a reason to care about this guy, and that's all I need.
It
Give
is
me a reason
very
to care about
simple. Like I understand that.
so,
Like you have House Harkonnen. They are bad guys. Their planet's in black and white.
this is evil. This is Team Evil. You're not supposed to like them. Like, keep it simple. Like, you could do complicated and simple, and I feel like bring up Christopher Nolan again. His Batman movies are again the best example because it's Batman. It's a simple concept. He just adds intricate details to it that people who are into that kind of thing will appreciate, and I'll appreciate it. But as long as the core of the story is we need to get from point A to point B so we can get to point C, I could follow. But again, with Hathaway, like we don't have any Bruce Wayne in here. We don't have any Two Faces or Jokers. We don't have any characters that really stick out in a situation where it's just all exposition. Ghost in the Shell had that same issue. You don't have a Two Face. You don't have a Joker. You don't have a Catwoman. You don't have any memorable characters. You have the Major, who I know from the movie, and everyone knows from the movie. But your leader is your most interesting character, and I don't know if there's like a cardinal rule, but that can't happen. It's your leader might be the most boring in terms of personality. I mean, you have your Cyclops, you have your Leonardo, you have your who have you, but it should at least be supported by a team of action figures I want to purchase. And Ghost in the Shell and Halfway didn't have that. In fact, Gundam's main issue is I always want to purchase the Gundams. I couldn't care less about the humans involved. The Gundam designs are terrific in this, except for our lead. That is a giant Dorito, as you can see on the screen. Big potato. It looks like it's a mechanic the entire time. I don't know why. And it barely moved. It's kind of hovered everywhere. I don't know why it had articulation. I felt the entire time this could have been a ship. You could have just built a jet and been all right. This didn't need legs. It didn't need a sword.
Yeah, when it dodges missiles, it just kind of floats by them. It's just like,
Yeah. You have this, this animation like, wow, this is really enthralling. This is what I came to see. He's wrecking shit though, and it's pretty, but man, there is no movement there. And yeah, like I was saying, the Gundams themselves are interesting. The characters, that's really all they need to work on because this is a beautiful movie, and I'd recommend seeing it for the fights, but there's not enough fights in there.
Just watch the last 20 minutes. Is all you need.
Just the last 20 minutes.
So, what is there anything of note that stood out to you as like a good scene from the stuff before the last 20 minutes? Like, because we have like we have that prison assault. We have them seeing like their militia buddies were all massacred by the Earth Federation forces.
Yeah.
In like a very brief fight on top of that. But I'll say I do like that first fight because since this has such a focus on realism, like they must have really thought about like, okay, when there are like dog fights in airplanes, what does that look like? And how that translates to this is you hardly ever see mobile suits fighting each other. They're all like very far away and you just hear beeping. Like oh, there's something over there that I'm firing missiles at.
Yeah.
And I like that in that first fight because it feels very disconnected that way. But Gigi's storyline where she's like gifted a house and she decorates it to kind of just show the passage of time a little bit, I think that's padding. Like I don't like
it's
that.
Absolutely padding. I feel like most of the movie was padding. Most of the movie was Gigi padding, and I know the movie's about her. Sweet child of mine. It's in the lyrics. But no, she was absolutely a padding character, and all these characters felt like I don't know how else to put like plug and play. Like hero character, check. Villain, check. Love interest, check. And then it moved on, and that was it for the effort. Like I mentioned before, I can keep raving about. There's no reason to really be interested in Gigi. So anytime she's on screen is just a waste of my time. But a good chunk of the plot is about her and her relationship with Noah. So I have no choice but to endure her.
Yeah, and her
while I wait for some Gundam fights.
and her entire character is, oh, I'm a psychic, and I very well might, like, in being with Hathaway, I might like be relegating myself to dying, but at the same
Why is
time,
that?
like, but at the same time, helping Kenneth makes me feel bad. Like,
It feels like, now that you brought that up, it feels like a move, instead of making the characters interesting, is to just make them more complicated. So they just kind of pile more shit on there. But I really don't care about the shit you gave me. I don't care about the new shit you're piling on top of it. He's a psychic now, great, whatever. That feels irrelevant to me.
well, that's a Gundam thing. So when we've watched Gundam Universal Century stuff, like 08th MS Team, one of the reasons why 08th MS Team is good, in my opinion, is it completely decides to not do anything with new types. New types is a invention of the Universal Century Gundam storyline, which the idea of it is that, like, oh, when humans go into space, their mind can expand, and therefore they're able to, you know, kind of have psychic abilities, like to the point that, like, people can hear each other's thoughts, things like that. Famously, Amuro Ray and Char are both new types, and they even get into it a little in Mobile Suit Gundam The Origin, which we liked, because in that it's like, oh, why was Char able to understand that the Earth Federation was going to bomb this plane that he was on? It's like, oh, it's because he's a psychic in some way, shape, or form. Like, he gets the tingle. And I don't know, all new type shit just seems very silly to me, but it helps the plot move forward. It is a MacGuffin that exists, and it's
a MacGuffin. That's the best way to put it, because I feel like they put it there because they wanted an equivalent of the Force in there. Again, Star Wars equivalency. And while it makes sense, it doesn't really feel like it adds anything to robot fights, if that makes sense. Like, if it added an element where you have these guys, they could read each other's minds while they're fighting in space with these robots, that'd be really cool. But instead, it's just when it's convenient for the plot, it's kind of used, and that's the
it's mainly used in that Char Amuro stuff. Like, there's kind of the only time it's been used very well, because, like, Char has a girlfriend that is, like, super psychic, like, just awesome at it, and she ends up sacrificing herself, and in her death scene she's like, oh, my mind has truly expanded and I can see time now. And it doesn't really do anything with that, but it's like a really cool scene with her death scene. And
make the show about that and have it happen to have Gundams in it. Like, you already created the more interesting thing. Just focus on that. Like, why don't you put that in the room and just ignore it?
Amuro and Char are dead at this point. Like, time has passed. Like, and we'll get into that in the last 20 minutes, which, like I said, I think is the main score that I end up giving this movie, is for that last 20 minutes.
It has to be. That has to be the reason you enjoyed this, because the last 20 minutes were awesome. It just didn't make up for everything leading up to it in my mind.
Yeah, so let's talk about the last 20 minutes of Gundam Hathaway. Sorry for spoilers for any viewers who haven't seen this, and if you're seeing it in US theaters, more than likely it's going to be out of theaters as of tomorrow, so see it while you can. Because in my theater, I had 2 people, other than myself.
You know what? Same. At first, it was just me, and then this woman and her child walked in the back. They didn't understand what was going on, so they said it sucked. And I agreed, and I watched the whole thing. Like, I was here the whole time. You didn't miss anything.
So, the last 20 minutes. So basically, the way it works is we have Lane Aim, which is the worst named character in the thing, and he's also kind of a whiny bitch, and I do not like Lane Aim. And even the movie doesn't like Lane Aim for what they do to him in the final portion of this movie. But he's sent after Hathaway. Hathaway and him have the Gundam fight, and the realism focus of this movie makes, in my opinion, this be the best Gundam fight I've ever seen. If not the most, maybe not best, but most interesting. Because it keeps the camera very steady. It keeps it swooping around Hathaway because the way they envision the Gundam cockpit is this 360-degree sphere. And it's obviously made for IMAX because that's the way it's like designed. But I didn't see it in IMAX. I saw it on a regular theater for a Marcus Cinemas.
Yeah.
And they completely cut out the soundtrack. All you're hearing is engine noise and just the sound of Hathaway being locked onto and getting locked onto other enemies. And you're just like seeing this kind of swooping thing, and it's like, I feel really engaged right now. This is actually feels really cool of just like putting you into this spot like any good like dogfight in like a piloting thing or something like that.
Yeah.
And then the soundtrack comes in, and Lane Aim comes and fights him for a little bit. They yell at each other. They fire beams at each other. They tear parts of their Gundams off from each other to the point that like the RX-7 they take off a lot of that triangle stuff, like to the point that it just looks like a normal Gundam and actually looks a lot better for it. But then the movie does something, Marlon, and I'm not sure if you were able to like follow what it was doing. But Lane Aim and his Gundam turn into a two-dimensional Gundam from the 1980s.
I did see that. I just go, all right, whatever. Just walk over the rocks at this point.
Oh, that's the entire fight scene. Like the RX-105 and Hathaway are still in 3 dimensions, but when they go to what he's shooting at, he is shooting at a 2-dimensional Gundam. He is shooting at specifically Amuro Ray's Gundam from the movie Char's Counterattack, which is where Amuro dies at the end. Or he disappears, but he dies.
Are you talking about the sequence where they essentially go back in terms of animation to the original style?
Yes.
Yeah, that is the coolest friggin' sequence. I knew that's what you were going to bring up, but it's the coolest friggin' sequence. It doesn't save the entire movie for me. That is an awesome sequence.
But yeah, so he's fighting Amuro's Gundam and envisioning not Lane Aim, but fighting Amuro, our original main character, and having a conversation with him about how like Amuro is basically saying like, oh, how can you like do all this evil and say that you're fighting for the ideals of, you know, of peace and freedom and all of this other things when you're just doing violence and you're just a terrible person on top of it. Like this isn't working. And Hathaway's response is, you were never able to separate your ideals from that of the military. Like Amuro Ray has always been an Earth Federation forces soldier. And it's like, oh, that's interesting. Is the movie going to do anything with this? It's like, not really. He's going to beat Lane Aim is what's going to happen. But I think that was the sequence where it's like, oh, this knows what it's doing. I don't know if it's successful at it, but it definitely has ideas that I think like are better for putting it on screen. Maybe it doesn't work perfectly, but I applaud them for trying in those sequences.
That's my review of the entire movie, right there. Both movies, really.
You tried.
I see what you're going. You tried. I see what you're trying to do. It didn't exactly work, but you tried. Like you mentioned that ending sequence, and it gets me thinking, yeah, why isn't that the entire movie? Why can't you just make it? Why can't you overdo the action and then get more asses and seats that way? Because I feel like, I don't know about anybody else, I feel like the main complaint of Gundam is that it is boring, is that it doesn't really have any interesting characters or villains. People are there for robot fights. Why not just make it 90% robot fights? I mean, I think of better examples like Pacific Rim, which is a movie that I love. Again, robot fights, compelling characters, but I feel like that movie, despite being a live action movie, had more fights in it than this animated one. And not just that, but those fights were way better. But
yeah, it's
good.
one of the like a constant thing that we come back to is like the worst thing a movie can be is mediocre. Because then you think of
Yeah,
how it could like pass that bar. Um,
yeah,
and I think you have it a little bit right. And I think you have it right in thinking about Chris Nolan making a similar movie, because I think the main weakness of this is time. Like, for some reason, this movie really wants to show you the passage of time and really wants to show, like, just the length that it takes to, like, get a military operation going and get this thing working. And it's really, really focused on the logistics of it.
yeah,
And it would almost help to do a Dunkirk where, like, you have interspersed, like, okay, we're going to have our main Gundam fight that takes place over the course of 5 minutes, but we're going to intersperse that 5 minutes through the movie. Um, Meanwhile, we are going to have a flashback, which is going to explain to you Hathaway's character, like interspersed over the course of, like, oh, these are the last 5 years, and this is why it fits in with his actions during those 5 minutes, and kind of work that way. I think that is what you would need to do instead of what they did, which is let's just tell this story in real time, and you end up getting, because of it, a sequence where your main female lead decorates her house.
yeah. Dunkirk was the exact example I thought of when I brought up Christopher Nolan. Dunkirk and Tenet, because who was the bad guy in Tenet? Can you tell me? Because I can't tell you, and I love Tenet.
I don't know.
Exactly.
I barely understand the plot for Tenet. Not because it's complicated, but just because that movie is not very good.
Well, I liked it. But you take the Batman movies out of the Christopher Nolan catalog, and it's kind of a trend of him. Like, who is your bad guy? Like, they don't really stick out. I mean, we have Robert Downey Jr. in Oppenheimer, but that's because that's based on a real story. We know who the bad guy is. But for the most part, Christopher Nolan movies, they're just kind of just vague concepts, like Inception. Like the threat itself was the concept of Inception, and you need to get out of the dude's brain in time, and at the
Mm-hmm.
same time, incept a plan. And that's fine. That's very much up Christopher Nolan's alley, where he would help Gundam in that same plot. I I was hooked by the idea of Cobb / Leonardo DiCaprio looking for his wife, and his wife killing herself with that, like something like that in here. Some kind of interesting backstory would have saved it easily for me. That's all you need to do, because the stakes were there, the plot was there, your characters didn't have a motivation, a
Yeah.
real motivation. You
No, and
know?
even
Yeah.
like the most we get for Hathaway's motivation is through his ex, where she has her flashback to, like, oh, how did you fall in love with this guy? It's like, oh, well, I kind of knew him in college, like we hung out together, we went to the same classes, eventually he got radicalized and took me along with him, is basically what the story amounts to. um
Well, then why isn't that the story? Why we focus on that for like 30 minutes and then it's just gone again? Like, okay, I'm glad you brought that up. This whole dramatic music sequence, like, all right, I guess this is important. I should be paying attention. Oh, all right, it's gone. You don't bring it up again. He's with Gigi now. Great. I get it's. Is it supposed to be like a Betty and Veronica type situation? Like, and he choose which one? He has all these women, but it's no, not
no,
really that. It
I
doesn't
I
come off that way.
I don't think it's really a Betty and Veronica thing. I think, like, in general, when I took a look through, like, the Gundam Reddit to see what they thought of the movie, and for the most part people are pretty positive about it. But
Yeah, they would be.
everyone does not like Gigi, and they're like, "Oh, like, best girl is Kieran, the one
Yeah,
redhead." It's like, yeah, cuz she, like, cares about him. Like, that much is apparent, like, even in the brief scene that we see.
right. So why isn't she the focus? Why isn't she the one that wins? Like, this should be a love story that happens to have Gundams in it. Like, that
They
should have
did
been
that.
the
It's called the Olathe team.
well, that's a good one. That's the one that works, right? Let's just do that again. Like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. The early ones had it right. Like, the first Gundam was the easiest one to get into because it was a very simple story. Like, he gets thrown into the war, you have his perspective, and then you get to learn all these things with him. The other ones, you get thrust into a world that already exists. They have exposition to catch you up, and it feels like it never stops. I don't know how to describe it. It feels like, all right, now we're going over here. Okay, great. I'm gonna go over here and do this. All right, now we're gonna go over here and do this. It's just a kind of a task list we're running through, and I don't know why we're running through it. Or at least
Yeah.
I don't care why we're running through it.
Understandable, but I like the Gundam the Witch from Mercury, which spends an inordinate amount of time going like, what would it be like starting a business in the Gundam universe?
Just give me something. Like, just keep the universe and give me an interesting plot in that universe. Star Wars has been doing it for years. That's all I really want. Just give me something that takes place there.
So before we get into scores and talking about finals here, the director of this movie said that he does not feel bad that you need to watch 140 episodes of Gundam in order to get caught up on this.
No, he should. He should feel bad.
Do you feel you need to watch those 140 episodes? Because I haven't, and I was able to keep up.
No, and here's where this bites him in the ass. You don't need to watch it to understand it. You need to watch it to enjoy it. And you want me to enjoy your product, so now I have to watch these things to enjoy your product, and it's not happening. Sorry. I'm gonna watch it and take it as it is, and it's boring.
Yeah,
just,
I feel like the main question there is, do you understand who Quess is? The blue-haired girl that's like haunting Hathaway.
I feel like I've seen her before. I didn't really care.
Yeah, she's.
I'm sure I've spotted her before.
She is his love interest in Char's counterattack. She joins Char and dies, is what happens. Like she joins the bad guys and dies, is what happens to her. And he cannot get over her, is basically what it amounts to. But like
that in the movie,
it's been literally like 15 years since I saw Char's counterattack, and it's like, okay, I understand what the movie's doing here. I don't necessarily need to. And I haven't watched like literally every single episode of Gundam. I just know what happens. So
yeah,
I
at that point I just say, "Ooh, a Gundam character," and I move on.
Yeah. All right. So Gundam Hathaway, the sorcery of Nymph Circe. Once again, using the Super Eye Patch Wolf scale, Gundam Hathaway's Flash on Netflix got 2, so let's see if this one does better. But 1 is completely insulting to your intelligence, 2 is bad but with good qualities, 3 is I did not feel robbed or I liked it, 4 is good but there's something bad that keeps it from being a 5, 5 is good for the genre, 6 is exemplary for the genre, and 7 is so good it has redefined what good is. I will let you have final word, Marlon, and you are not going to like my score. I feel
no,
this
I know you're.
Yeah,
you know this is getting a 2.
Yeah.
You know it's not getting a 3. Because the moment you said 3 in the general, I liked it. No, that disqualifies. I'm sorry. You have elements that I like. You have great animation. You have great Gundam design. You have great Gundam fights. But you couldn't do anything of all the pieces I gave you. And at the end of the day, you have all these great ingredients. Your pizza still tastes like shit. It's a really good-looking pizza, but it tastes like shit.
Yeah, and meanwhile, like I originally, like in my original thoughts, I gave this a 5. I think that was recency bias. I'm going to give this a 4, and the reason is because the last 20 minutes, like I said, are, I think, game-changing for Gundam. I think that is going to be something that people are going to look at, see like, okay, this works, and they're going to iterate on it and make it better. I think that it is not as good as like the 08th MS team, which is a 6 out of 7 in my opinion. It is not as good as Mobile Suit Gundam The Origin, which is another 6 out of 7. But at the same time, it's better than a lot of Gundam out there. Gundam sets a low bar. In a lot of cases, there's a lot of bad.
It's why I was kind of expecting this. I was expecting not to like it, which is kind of a shame to say about Gundam, considering I like Gundam so much. So you wouldn't think I was a fan. But I like the robots. That's really about it. But I come in with low expectations on a Gundam project. Like, I'm not going to remember these characters. I'm not going to like their motivations. I'm not going to give a shit. But I am here to see cool robot fights. And it can at least deliver cool robot fights, which it did, just not enough of, in my opinion. If you film something for IMAX, to film the movie for IMAX. I feel like 50% of the movie should add more IMAX like huge Gundam battles in this. Because seeing it on a big screen, I'll admit that is the appeal. That is really cool, and that should have been the movie itself in its entirety. But yeah, like you mentioned, Gundam it's at a low bar. It's consistently mediocre. It's reliable, if not for that.
Do you think if the third movie, which I mean at this point is going to come out in 5 years because that's how long it took to get this one, do you think if the third movie like knocks it out of the park, like 5 or 6 out of 7, like we are looking at a like Obsession level, because I hear Obsession is very good. I'm seeing it this weekend.
Absolutely.
Do you think if it's like an absolute home run, do you think it pulls up the previous movies along with it? Like if it's like if the third movie is like your big climax one, like we use these previous 2 movies to set up all of our pieces, and now we're just going to like ram them against each other and blow stuff up.
Yeah, that's the only way this works. Actually, the only way this works is if the third one is so good that I have to go back and watch the first 2 and reconsider them in cohesion of the whole thing. That's the only way it saves it, is if you have a really spectacular ending that brings it all together and makes me think, all right, maybe I should go back. Maybe I had this character on. Maybe I should go back and look at their backstory. Maybe they're interesting now. I don't know. But they would have to pull off a lot. They would have to change writing teams or something.
Yeah, but speaking of interesting, 1 second, I'm going to turn on a light so I don't have Gundam Hathaway like lighting here.
I thought that was thematic. That was part of it.
But so we have an American Gundam movie coming out that they announced the cast for. We have Sydney Sweeney, we have Jason Isaacs, things like that. Do you think that movie will be good?
No, and not even because of the cast or that's Americanized or anything. It's not like, oh, the Japanese version is so much better. But because, like you mentioned, Gundam already has a track record for setting the bar so low that I feel like even with the cast they have, the characters aren't going to be that interesting. It's going to be like a Cloud Atlas or Valerian type situation. Like, oh, it's pretty, but I don't give a shit about these people. I'm going to Jupiter Ascending. It's going to feel like that to me. It's going to have a lot of big names in there, and special effects are going to be spectacular. But getting me to care about a human Gundam lead is notoriously difficult, and I feel like they're going to have a little trouble. Sydney Sweeney, no, it's not going to be a good movie.
Yeah, so I like to judge things slowly, but like first impressions are first impressions. And when I see like the Gundam movie is being made by Netflix, okay, that's a strike against it, because Netflix tends to not do very well. Although I hear the One Piece like live action is very good, so I'll maybe like this will be one of those. Maybe they'll do.
Again, anime fans are biased.
Yeah,
like you said, Gundam fans already gave this a good rating. Of course, One Piece fans like One Piece is amazing. I don't trust these people. I'll do it for myself.
I do not buy Sydney Sweeney as a lead. I've seen The Housemaid and like bits of Euphoria, and I don't know.
This time I admit she's not that good. Like, even controversy aside, I've seen a few of her movies. It's like, wow, this is pretty bad. It's actually pretty cringeworthy. I thought she was doing like a whole California girl thing for Euphoria, but no, that's all of her roles. It's just the same person. She's like Hollywood Nikita Lyons. It's crazy.
Yeah, and I know you do not think highly of her, but when I think like, oh, you need a Gundam protagonist and a live action actor to play him, get me Daisy Ridley. Whatever. Like let's like Daisy Ridley can do emotion. I saw it in who's it like Let Them Die or whatever it is. And like if you need like a bland protagonist, like there you go. I'm pretty sure she's relatively inexpensive because she hasn't done much since Star Wars. But yeah, I honestly, if I made a Gundam movie, I would just fill it with character actors. Like I'd get like we're going to be finishing Detroit Become Human this weekend, so like I'd get a Clancy Brown. I'd get like a Lance Hendrickson. Granted, I think he's dead. Is Lance Hendrickson dead?
Both dead. Yeah, Lances are dead.
I'd get an AI recreation of Lance Hendrickson. But I'd
But yeah,
focus on that and try to like get good new actors to keep my budget down and maybe like build a franchise like from the ground up rather than trying to have like established inexpensive stars like Sydney Sweeney. And
yeah,
like my hope is that this thing is going to be like, oh, this is like Gundam the Origin. This is something that's really really good and Sydney Sweeney like knocked it out of the park. That is my hope, but I just don't have a lot of hope for a Netflix movie
yeah.
original.
I don't trust Netflix blockbusters because I was gonna bring up the point that what I would do instead of stunt casting is pro like insane directors at it, like Michael Bay or Zack Snyder, someone who could take the property and make it interesting, pull a Transformers with it, or even a Star Trek. J.J. Abrams, because like people say of J.J. Abrams Star Trek, it's Star Trek for people who don't like Star Trek. So I'm the perfect audience for it. I feel like there's someone out there like that for Gundam that can make it work, that can make the characters suddenly really interesting, and that's in a J.J. Abrams or a Michael Bay or a Zack Snyder. The issue is Zack Snyder has worked for Netflix before, and their blockbusters aren't that good, not even in terms of writing, but they look cheap. I felt like, what was it? Like it wasn't Land of the Dead. They were in Vegas. Army of the Dead. Army of the Dead, I felt was pretty bland visually. I felt, what was Zack Snyder's other ones? What's the other two we watched? It was a two-parter.
Oh,
It's supposed to be like
Red,
it off.
yeah, Red Moon, whatever.
Yeah, that's another one that's like, even if it wasn't Zack Snyder, visually it looks really bland. So I don't trust what a Netflix Gundam movie is gonna look like because it's not gonna be made for theaters. It's gonna be made for TV. So by default, it's gonna look bland as shit.
Yeah, so I just looked up who the director is on the Gundam movie because that has been announced. It's apparently James Mickle. Um, have you seen the show Sweet Tooth?
I have not. I've heard of it.
Yeah, because other than that, the only like movie of note he's done is In the Shadow of the Moon, which I do not remember liking. Um,
Yeah, this is Netflix all over it. This is the cheap Netflix cardboard cutout shit.
I mean, I hear good things
Ugh.
about Sweet Tooth, but I hear mainly good things about Sweet Tooth from the comic, not the adaptation.
I'm gonna go a step further and say that not only will Gundam not be good for casual fans, it won't be good even for regular fans. It's gonna go full Resident Evil. We hate this project kind of shit,
Wait,
and that's what I think is gonna happen
this
here.
sucks.
I think regular people are gonna hate it. I think fans are gonna hate it. I think it's just gonna be awful and forgotten, like Cowboy Bebop.
Yeah. Sadly, people were passing around the Akira rights for a movie, but it's like I would want to see
It's
what.
gonna
Yeah, I would want to see
die.
what like Keanu Reeves would do with a Gundam thing, or hell,
Yeah, but we know that I can
honestly,
Reeves.
just give it to Guillermo del Toro. Like he probably would like it. Like just
Yeah, he's not. I can't say he's not doing anything. He always has a project underway, but he's passionate. Whatever you hand him, he'll put his all into it.
we Guillermo del Toro, we have given you the Gundam project, and he's just like, well, it's not going to be, it's not going to make budget. It's like, yeah, we know. Like,
Yeah, you'll make money off it, but it'll be good.
the only way you're getting a Gundam movie that is made at budget and not like this Netflix thing is probably giving it to like Robert Rodriguez.
Yeah,
Like Robert Rodriguez, for all of his faults, makes things on time and at budget. Like
yeah.
that's why James Cameron trusted him with the Alito Battle Angel movie. He's like, if I made this, it would be too expensive. Give it to Robert Rodriguez.
Well, that's true. That movie does look pretty friggin' cheap, though, doesn't it? Like you could tell.
Because the Robert
That's pretty much
Rodriguez
what
movie.
happened here. So the only way to do Gundam right is to do it expensive, and it doesn't have the fan base for that, and they're not giving it to a high profile enough director for it. So this is just doomed from the start.
Just treat it
on arrival.
honestly. Just treat it like Roger Rabbit, and just have like the like when the actual Gundam fights happen, actually have it be like 2D animation. Like just.
I was gonna go the other way with it, but yeah, fine. There's regular human bits, and then just switch to a cartoon whenever the robots show up. Yeah.
But anyway, so that is Gundam Hathaway, the Sorcery of Nymph Circe. We will be back in 5 years when they make the third one, I guess.
It's a pretentious name. It's such a long, pretentious anime title, and I hope it bombed. If it bombed, I'm glad.
It bombed in the U.S., but it did not bomb in Japan. Like, it did very well in Japan.
I don't trust Japanese taste anymore,
Gundam is
man.
an institution, Marlon.
Yeah, but so is Pokemon, but I can make sense of Pokemon. I can tell you who Team Rocket is. Team Rocket is evil.
Star
Gundam,
Wars
I get
Episode 9 was dog shit, and that made $1 billion. Think about institutions, Marlon.
Yeah. But is that helping friggin' Marvel right now? Maybe their fan base is just bigger. I don't know. Yeah, give me a worse Marvel movie. I will take that over this.
Well, I think Marvel's problem is you had Avengers Endgame, and most of the audience was like, okay, that was the last of it. I'm fine with this going away for a while, and then it didn't.
Yeah,
and then it just stayed around.
Yeah, I was hoping break or something, but they just kind of kept it pushing, and not even that well.
And not only did they keep it around, they kept it around with the Eternals. It's like, we're gonna get really strange with it. It's like,
just throwing shit at a wall.
Do you need
I don't
to?
think anything got a sequel. I don't think there was a single sequel for any of them new movies. Not a single one got one. They just throw a bunch of shit at the wall and just see what's up. And now we have Doomsday coming out.
Spider-Man, pretty much. That's about it.
Yeah, but I mean, new franchise. We had Spider-Man. We had Doctor Strange 2. We had Guardians of the Galaxy 3. But in terms of like new characters, Black Widow, nope. Just one. Shang-Chi, nope.
Yeah, no more Thunderbolts movies. I am afraid that in Avengers Doomsday they're just going to kill off like the Thunderbolts and like every single like new product that they have just to go be like, oh, we know what you want. You want Robert Downey Jr. and things like no.
They've already said Doomsday is a direct sequel to Infinity War, so it's ignoring everything that happened over like the past 6 years. Like that, who cares? But while it makes sense, at the same time, that's how badly they messed up. That if we could skip all 3 phases and get through this, like they weren't that important. What are you even doing?
But yeah, so in 2 weeks is what I'm gauging. We'll probably do Anime of the Year. The Crunchyroll Anime Awards are next week. So this time we do it after the Crunchyroll Anime Awards instead of before. I am almost done watching entire series. I'm 2 episodes away from finishing Gachi Akuda, and then I only have The Summer Hikaru Died as my remaining series. But for Anime of the Year, we are watching every single Anime of the Year contender. Joey and Marlon only need to watch at minimum 2 episodes of each of the Anime of the Year contenders. I've watched the entire series. It has been a lot. It is why we probably will do something shorter before going on to Evangelion after the whole thing, after Anime of the Year, and kind of focusing that way. But yeah, in the end, like, I enjoyed Hathaway, but yeah, I'm hoping that they iterate on it and make it better, and we have a better sequel. I just want good Gundam, and we've had some good Gundam. Like the Witch from Mercury is very good, but it's not a Universal Century timeline. And yeah, so hopefully I will find something to do in the interim. But we'll be back in 2 weeks with Anime of the Year, and be back this weekend with Detroit Become Human.
Yeah. All right. Yes. More Detroit Become Human.
And then we get to move on to Final Fantasy VII. Speaking of institutions, that
yeah, we have that and Neon Genesis on the horizon. That is a lot. No, we're gonna need a lot of shit to break that up. We're gonna need some short shit.
Yep, but until then, thanks everyone for joining us. Feel free to follow or watch the VODs on YouTube, and we will see you next time in the month of April for Anime of the Year. So, thanks everyone.
Yeah.
Bye.